Okay, we've now heard about reinvention, but let's now turn to the young that reinvent themselves all the time. So, we've got 4 young media CEOs that have been inducted into the Kress Hall of Future because they have been very innovative. Now, first speaker, well, her job title is somewhat daunting, Head of Content Engineering, which sounds quite technocratic. But she's not a technocrat. She's a treasure hunter of sorts. Yvonne Wagner is our next speaker. Hello and welcome. My name is Yvonne Wagner. I'm head of content engineering. Yes, I work for Ebner Verlag, a publishing house based in Ulm. We are a special interest publishing house. Now, we produce special interest media for niche products or niche target groups. A magazine for firefighters, for example, or printers, or those interested in luxury watches. So we produce content and magazine for all of these target groups. Facebook Zero, that's a hashtag that's displayed here. Now, back in February, shockwaves were sent through the world. Facebook changed its algorithms. Facebook Armageddon, goodbye Facebook newsfeed, it's over. So Facebook had changed its algorithm and said that it wanted to have family and friend posts, not so much publishers and other organizations. And I've brought along a few quotes. For example, Campbell Brown, who's the head of publisher partnership with Facebook. Now, in February, she said, people don't come to Facebook for news, they come for friends and family. Hence, posts coming from friends and family. If someone feels that being on Facebook is not good for your business, you should not be on Facebook. And my job is not to make publishers happy. Well, these quotes come from Campbell Brown, who's in charge of publisher partnerships with Facebook. Well, in our publishing house, some people looked like this. Maybe the same holds true for your organizations as well. Some people were very much concerned about the reach of their portals. I brought along this chart as well, which is the share of search engines, such as Google, for example, versus social. That's the share of visits concerning our websites. So the social visits were more important than the search visits in terms of volumes. And ever since late last year, things have changed, and search is now becoming more important than social. Well, search has always been important, but there's a trend, a clear-cut trend in this direction. So the question that arises now is this. Now, how can you be successful when it comes to Google? It's long-term objectives that you need to have in order to be successful with Google. Now, rankings, of course, can't be built up or changed overnight. So, what you have to have in mind is that this is a long-term goal. First, ascending rankings, meaning you want to be ranked better with your URLs on position number 1, or you may know the featured snippets. That's the 0 position where you get answers directly without actually needing to click on a certain result. That increases visibility. There are many tools that measure visibility, search metrics, for example, or Systrix. This then gives rise to more organic traffic that you have on the site, meaning unpaid traffic. Now, this, of course, can be converted. You can directly monetize things, you can sell subscriptions, or you can generate lead by making people become more interested in newsletters and signing up for the newsletters. So what's the most effective method of attaining those long-term goals? Now, in all Ebner portals, Evergreens account for more than 50% of the entire reach. What are evergreens? Well, I'm sure that you know what this is all about. This is a short reminder that I've brought along, which allows us to be on the same page. While they have a long lifespan compared to the news, news, of course, has a short lifespan. Constant user engagement is necessary, and there is tremendous growth potential. And often, it's about must-have content, meaning things that users need to have: tutorials, instructions, recipes, things that will always be valid, that will never lose validity, which of course engenders a certain value added that might be bigger than news. News, of course, is perishable, and then, of course, you can monetize the whole thing. I brought along a few examples from our Rettungsdienst portal, and the time span here is the 1st of January 2017 to the 30th of June 2017. In green, you've got the evergreens. It's the 10 most successful articles on rettungsdienst.de in this time period, and that's the page impressions that are listed here. In green, you've got basic instructions for rescuers or paramedics, and the news, well, that's something else. Casualties along a highway or a railroad accident or whatever. And this, of course, also applies to the top 100. The top 100 page impressions, the most successful ones, will always be the evergreens. And on top of that, you've got longer durations than all the articles combined. So the duration will be 3.28 minutes. 2 minutes, that's what applies to the articles. The evergreens are longer. People need more time when it comes to tutorials. Well, people will remain online longer. They just need more time to read all this information. That's why their dwelling period is longer. So at Ebner, we wanted to consistently build up those evergreens. We wanted to leverage them. We wanted to come up with thematic sites on our portals. What are thematic sites? What I'm talking about here is long-term, high-quality evergreen content. Content that displays relevant topics in a holistic manner on a certain website. So a topic to be elucidated from various vantage points, something that is as comprehensive as possible, something that includes as many subtopics as possible, allowing users to get comprehensive information.
This creates a good overview and a sense of orientation. It generates traffic, that's our objective. And this is drawn up by our content engineering department, 3 employees in total, and we're part of audience development. And as the name says it, we are focusing on target group development. Now, the existing content that we have either in print or on our website is optimized according to certain criteria, SEO criteria. So we need to answer user questions. How can we answer these with our content? Multimedia, of course, text, video, infographics, and also technical processing. Headlines should be formatted so that the search engines can read them. So all of these subjects are part of that. And I have a wonderful quote from my boss. So we are lifting the treasures in our archives. We are developing them and thus know what we can do with them, because only if we are found based on these things that are important to us, we can prove that we are the experts in our field. And for that, it means that we are not only found when it comes to searches for our brand name, but also subjects that users actively seek. So that's content engineering. The content is being recycled because we have those treasures in our archive. We are publishers, we are experts in our field. We have our own niche that we have, and it would be a shame if the content, these treasures, were just published once and then forgotten again. So our content engineers retrieve those treasures, we adapt them to the needs of online and SEO, and we use it to get visibility for our website. So that's the secret behind content engineering. Now let's delve deeper. What does the process look like? How can we identify potentials? What is the search volume behind a keyword? Then there's long tail keywords that are also important. Maybe there's an overarching term with lots of different questions that fall under this heading that also have a good search volume, so it's worth writing about. So we use search metrics and keyword finder. So they show us the search volume and other useful info. And we also do a competition and opportunity analysis. So what are the websites that are already ranked on this keyword? Is it a transactional keyword? That is to say, is it only shops that are ranked here? And do we stand a chance with our informative content to get ranked there? So we analyze the competition and our opportunities. Then we draw up a requirements profile. We use the search metrics content experience for that. That analyzes our competitors and tells us how they are preparing the subject and what subtopics are important. So subtopics and keywords are thus established. Answer the Public is an interesting tool. It's browser-based and free of charge. So user questions are shown on a certain given subject. Let's say guitar strings. So we have a portal where guitar strings is an important keyword. So you enter this and Answer the Public, and then you find user questions that are questions that people asked in fora. How do you replace strings in a guitar? What materials are there? How can you tell that you should change the guitar strings? So we're getting all of these questions, and we can then try to address the question, can thus get a better rank and provide the user with the content that he or she wants. So user questions, very important keyword here. Then there's content research. So you find some basic information that was maybe published at some point that you can enrich with all the other information. This basic information maybe in your print archive or may even already be on the website. We use both. If it's already on the website, you need to check the rankings of the article. What's the traffic? Can we continue to use it? And news is also good in order to come up with topics. So let's say the managing director of a given company has just joined the team or whatever, moved on elsewhere. That's a good